Anjaneyulu, why don't you just sit idle? Why do you want to trouble yourself or join some ashram? These were the exact words someone used for Anjaneyulu, a blind student. My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, Anjaneyulu is a blind student from a remote village in Kurnool. He has his family of farmers. This guy is blind but yet very much determined for getting educated because none of his family is educated. We might have come across a lot of people in our life to extend our helping hand. It might be relatives, colleagues, friends, or someone like Anjaneyulu who needs our help. But yet, we might come into situations like these, where even after working hard, slogging ourselves, we tend to fail. And that is when someone from our family, our friends, our well-wishers comes and says, pats on our backs and says, hey, it is okay, it's just one time. You can do it better next time. You have all the confidence. That builds in our confidence. Even after we have our own motivation, self-motivation, people like these who stand next to us and say, you can do it better next time, help us stand there with self-confidence and courage to do something what we want. It can be education, it can be some achievements in our life. These are the things which really matter. Even after we facing situations like these, we become party to break someone's self-confidence or discourage someone from doing what they want. I'll tell you from where I'm trying to come. I've come across people in my life who have faced situations like these. Let me talk about the first person. This guy was an old friend of mine. I met him recently. I knew that he was pursuing something. I wanted to know more. He was back in India. So I was curious to find out, hey, what went through. I asked him. He said he slogged more than 6 months to learn German, working in a BPO, balancing his life. His aim was to earn better, keep his family happy, go abroad. These were his goals. So this guy worked really hard for 6 months, learned German, finally put all his savings for almost 5 years which he worked for going to Germany. You know what? This guy struggled for 4 months there in Germany to get a job. But fate, doesn't work in the favor every time. This guy, unfortunately, couldn't get a job. All his savings were drained out and he had to come back. There was no other way. So he came back. Now you know what would happen. People around him started talking. You see this guy, he went to Germany, he boosted off as if he was learning German. See now he's back in India, looking for jobs. To an extent that his own friends told him on face, why don't you take life as it is, man? Enjoy whatever you have today, you are getting a salary. Enjoy, that is life. Why do you want to extend yourself, stretch yourself, have a goal, go to Germany and earn more? This guy tells me, Sudhir, though I faced all this, what stopped me? He said, I was able to stretch myself, do what I wanted to do. I spent my life's earning for achieving my goal in life. I'm not afraid that I failed there, but I'm happy that I was able to do what I wanted to do. These were the exact words. He said, one side there was a party which was talking bad about him. One side was a party of friends who said, Sandeep, this is okay, you can do it better next time. Words like these really build morale in someone. I'll give you a live example of my very, very close friend from my intermediate days. This guy was from a lower middle class family and he wanted to pursue his chartered accountancy. And you know what goes through it. Chartered accountancy is easy for probably a merit student or probably someone who's above 90 or always hits 100 in his accounts. This guy was a below average student. He was 40s, 50s or 60s in his percentages. This guy aimed for becoming a chartered accountant. Both of us used to get the same amount of percentage of marks every time in college. After college, we used to talk. I was pursuing myself, I dropped off, I can tell you. But this guy was very confident that he wanted to do his CA. Financial background really stopped him from doing. Not only financial background, his family used to tell him, Ajay, why do you want to do this year? Why don't you start earning and support the family rather than spend another year studying for a chartered accountancy course? But this guy used to talk to me about all this. And what I used to do, I only used to tell him, hey Ajay, you don't have to worry about all this here. You can do it. Just stay there. You have the potency to do it. Stay connected and you will be able to do it. Every time he used to do it. To an extent, his family used to call me, his father used to call me. So this guy only listens to you here. Why don't you tell him that he has to directly do a job, earn something for the family? His younger brother is earning and this guy is not earning yet. This guy finished his first level in chartered accountancy and was doing his internship. That's the time when his family came up and said, no, we will get Ajay married now. He got married at that age. But still, his family called me before marriage. They said, Sudhir, this guy is getting married here now. Now, this guy is getting married, so what do you think? Will he do his chartered accountancy even after his marriage? He said, no problem, auntie, uncle, you should support him even now. Let him do what he wants to do. Believe me, his son was born in November. His results for chartered accountancy came in December. He cleared his chartered accountancy, luckily. He was so happy. He's now a hero in his family. Everybody who comes, relatives who come, they say, Ajay is the role model. Look at him, learn from him. He comes back and tells me, Sudhir, you are the unsung hero behind me. Similarly for Anjaneyu, similarly for Sandeep, who came back, there are unsung heroes who help them succeed. We should always support people, not discourage. That way, you will be able to make a difference in people's life. Thank you.